an organic jasmine tea from Rishi, and a classic peppermint herbal tea from Stash. That's what I'll be trying today on 11s with Jamie. We're gonna get started. Today I got these super duper fancy Pyrex and Anchor Hawking liquid measuring cups for our tea tasting purposes. And I also have this because jasmine is a green tea. I want to be really careful and make sure it's a good temperature. The jasmine tea, I want to open that up first. It's really cool. A lot of thought and care has been put into this from the people at Rishi. Jasmine tea is green tea that's been flavored with jasmine flowers, and they've been doing it in China for hundreds of years, actually. I didn't know that until this morning. I'm going to pour my full 8 ounces in here. Now that is not a very hot water. Right now it's at 140, but we're going to let that go for about 2 minutes. I've been following the Rishi people on Instagram for a long time. They have a really good Instagram account. I'll put that in the description below. This one has steeped enough. Scented teas haven't been around forever, but hundreds of years apparently. And jasmine, like a jasmine green tea, became popular in America and in the West in the late 1800s, from what I can gather on the internet. I'm going to pour it in. It has a beautiful golden color, something similar to an elderflower syrup or something like that. It smells extremely floral. One good thing about drinking green tea that you don't heat too hot is that you can start drinking it right away. Yeah, that's one of my favorite teas. And Rishi, this brand is just exceptionally good for a bag tea. Pretty soon we're going to have actual tea experts, tea connoisseurs, tea snobs, as they generally call themselves. And we're going to have one on later this week if I can edit the tape and get it out soon. I'm sure he's going to tell me all sorts of things that I'm doing wrong. One thing that you should know too, when you get a tea that's very good, like a green tea that's been well packaged, some of these nicer teas are a little bit more expensive, and that's okay because you can actually steep one bag several times. I will probably re-steep this about 4 or 5 times today, and then I get 4 cups of tea. And it's good every time. If I'm going to re-steep it, all I would do is I would put this in the refrigerator so that bacteria doesn't start growing throughout the day on my wet tea leaves. And now we're going to try our peppermint tea. So I had to reheat my water because I was sitting here talking too much and it drastically reduced in temperature. And now I just reheated it. So now it's almost boiling, which is fine for an herbal tea. It's about 180 now. My husband went to the Celestial Seasonings plant in Boulder, Colorado, and he said that the peppermint tea section of the factory is completely shut off from all the other teas because the peppermint is so strong that it would flavor all the other teas and then everything would taste like peppermint. Peppermint tea is a little bit different than peppermint flavoring, like a candy cane. It's not like it's going to taste like Christmas morning or something. Maybe that's something you want. I don't know. I love Christmas morning. Maybe I would want a tea that tastes and smells exactly like Christmas morning. Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, it still smells like peppermint, but in a more kind of leafy, grassy kind of flavor than a candy cane, essentially. My roommate in college, she loved peppermint tea. If she was having a really bad day or if she was just feeling crappy, she would want us to watch Love Potion #9 with her and drink peppermint tea. And that always put her in a good mood. I can give this a little bit longer to steep. Here's the thing. I'm trying to do some things precisely, like the timing and the amount of water. I mean, as you can see, this is 8 ounces, but I'm not always really uptight about that. But it is a good place to start. Usually the tea company will tell you how long to brew something and at what temperature and how much water to how much tea. And those are really good guidelines, but ultimately you're the best judge of how you like your tea because this is your tea party. I think we're ready. We can pour the peppermint tea. I'm not going to stick the tea bag in my little tea holder because it's perfectly fine to just leave the herbal tea in there. This one has quite a strong color, actually. It's much more barky colored than golden, and there's a slightly green tinge to it, not too much. I mean, it looks basically brown. It smells earthy and minty, but not in an unpleasant way. And it's not, I don't think it has quite the same cooling sensation that a mint would have on your tongue, though it does have that slightly, but just not a ton. You know, when you eat a peppermint or an Altoid and after a while it almost tastes bitter because it's just so strong and so intense. It's not quite like that. I mean, it has definitely a cooling feeling as it goes through your mouth as you pull air in, but it also has a nice sort of earthy, deep kind of tonal quality to it. So those are our 2 teas for today. This organic jasmine tea from Rishi, and then of course this peppermint herbal tea from Stash. As we go forward, I want to know what kind of teas you'd like to try. What's your happy tea? Please put them in the comments. We've already had a lot of comments of people saying what they love about tea and what their favorites are, and I want to know what yours are. My happy tea is probably a jasmine tea when I don't want to have any calories, or like last week's tea with the Yorkshire Gold and the masala chai spice. Those are probably my 2 favorites so far. I'm so excited to learn about tea and to learn from you and to learn from experts that we'll have on the show. And if you want to try to win a sample of this or a sample of the jasmine tea from Rishi, go ahead and put in the comments which one you'd like to sample, and then I'll pick 2 to 3 winners every week. I'm so glad you joined me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.